Bank Street College of Education, Elizabeth Dickey.
Good morning, everybody. I always begin my welcome by acknowledging or confessing that this is my favorite event of the year at Bank Street. And I further always tell everyone that as I walk up to Bank Street from the subway and I look in the window of the bookstore, I wish I could reinvent myself as a 7-year-old and go into that bookstore and spend the rest of the day. But in fact, I can't do any of that, so here we are. Bank Street has a very long tradition of supporting and creating literature for children. So thank you for joining us today to celebrate the 42nd anniversary of the Simonton and the James H. Black Award, and also for the Cook Prize. In case you doubt the longevity of our involvement with children's literature, one of our trustees gave me earlier in the week this book, The Taxi That Hurried. Does anyone know this book? Oh, okay. So let me report that this is by Lucy Sprague Mitchell, Irma Simonton Black, and Jessie Stanton, published, wonderfully enough, in 1946, the year I was born. So I was thrilled to get this. And it's a hoot. It's truly a hoot. So, 1946 was a while ago, and now here we are. Bank Street College of Education is a graduate school in which we prepare teachers and leaders for the schools. We have an independent school for children and do a lot of work with infants through our Head Start activities on the Lower East Side. And we have a growing research and policy commitment, and it's especially welcome at a time when we have a new mayor as well as a governor who seem increasingly interested in early education. We are community learners, and the Irma Black Award for Best Picture Book of the Year and the Cook Prize for the Best STEM Picture Book of the Year really exemplify our mission and our values and our passion. Each year, the readers of the Black submissions, Bank Street teachers, graduate faculty persons, librarians, parents, and experts in the field of children's literature evaluate and discuss new picture book titles to determine the best of the year's offerings. The 16 finalists are placed in our 3rd and 4th grade classrooms. Our students listen, read, evaluate, discuss, and advocate for their favorites, and then they vote. The 4 finalists have been deemed worthy of being sent out into the world and into hundreds of classrooms where children vote. In this, our 3rd year of presenting the Cook Prize, turning to the other prize today, we once again draw upon the expertise of Bank Street teachers, etc. The process and the consultation being very important to the work indeed. The Cook Prize is the only book award that honors excellence in informational picture books on science, technology, engineering, and math, STEM, for elementary school children age 8 to 10. And again, there's a process whereby a jury of 6 experts from Bank Street evaluate and discuss this short list of 20 books, narrow them down to 4 finalists, and the children are then engaged in the process. Today we celebrate and say thank you, certainly to Irma Black's family, Connie and Earl. Thank you for joining us again. And we also thank the families of Don Cook of the Graduate School of Education and Michael Cook, no relation to Don, from our School for Children, in whose honor the Cook Prize was established some time ago. Both Michael and Don left very powerful, made a very powerful mark on Bank Street as members of our faculty over the course of many years. Thank you to the Committee of Readers who read and evaluated hundreds of picture books. Thank you to the School for Children teachers who connected the books to their curriculum. And thank you to the School Library Journal. Thank you, an homage, for getting the word out so that schools all over the globe, turning this really into an international matter, could participate. And certainly thank you to the publishers for their submissions and continued commitment to the picture book world. So with that, I'd like to introduce my colleague and friend Alexis Wright, the Dean of our School for Children, and he will have a few words.
Thank you, Elizabeth. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Bank Street College of Education. Again, I'm Alexis Wright, Dean of Children's Programs, and this is one of my favorite events as well, and I largely just get to thank folks and explain a little bit about the process and how my teachers and students are involved. So I want to thank you for coming, share with you how important the Irma Black Award and Cook Prize are to our school's curriculum. But before I do that, I too want to take the time to thank all the publishers who submitted books and who supported the work of the Children's Book Committee, as well as the classrooms here at Bank Street and around the country. So with the Irma Black Award, and now for the third year, as you heard from Elizabeth, the Cook Prize, we get to see an ever-changing pool of titles, yet also a real consistent curriculum for evaluating text and artwork and how they all sort of seamlessly come together to create a successful read-aloud experience for children. A little bit about the process. Our Bank Street classroom teachers partner with Allie Bruce, who is our children's librarian, to support this curriculum of critical book evaluation. So in the library and in the classrooms, we ask the children to think analytically about the books. The discussions certainly flow across disciplines, as children may be hearing aloud an information book about an influential mathematician, comparing skeletal bones, story of a clever king, or wrapping their minds around the language of metaphor and similes. And assistant teachers in our classrooms, who are also graduate students, may also be using this work to inform their work in the graduate school. So working with Allie, who again is our librarian, are our middle school teachers. So I want to thank Becky Eisenberg, Greg David, Edna Moy, Ann Louise Ennis, Lila Mortimer, Danette Lipton, Evie Rivera Williams, and Claire Mansfield. Those are our middle school teachers for modeling, mentoring, and continuing to participate in the Irma Black Award and Cook Prize process. So to get to our 4 finalists of the Irma Black Award, we ask our students to look critically at the art and words. What makes this book the best? What makes these words juicy? How is this story engaging? Are these books relevant to younger children and younger readers? Will the books produce big feelings that are ripe for discussion and debate in the classroom? And so over the course of 5 weeks, the children read, discuss all the books before voting. And again, one of the fantastic things here is that the children really own the process and are the arbiters of the finalists. The curriculum guide for this process is available on our website for any teacher who's thinking that they may want to participate. And I'm sure, as many of you know, it outlines the specifics of the curriculum. And for us, it's always been very exciting to share this resource with the wider world. With regard to the Cook Prize, because we are looking at the most accurate and engaging books that teach the STEM principles, we ask our team of experts, which would be our teachers in the School for Children, graduate faculty, and some of our alumni to help narrow the field. But again, it's the students with the Irma Black process sort of fresh in their minds that really work to engage in the conversations over that 5-week process and then vote for their favorite Cook Prize candidate. And that curriculum guide is also on our website. So in closing, I would also like to thank the School Library Journal, who got the word out about these awards and whose articles really captured the excitement that goes on during the process. A special thanks to all the faculty involved, all the grown-ups, all the children as well, and everybody that participated. So thank you very much for being here.
These 2 men need no introduction. Instead, I'll give you hints. One was and always will be the first National Ambassador for Young People's Literature. Before that, he taught 2nd grade. Woe to those 2nd graders. And wrote books like The True Story of the 3 Little Pigs and The Stinky Cheese Man and Robot Zot, an Irma Black Award winner. Plus STEM titles such as Math Curse and Science Verse. You didn't know those were STEM titles, did you? As well as his memoir of growing up in a family of boys, Knucklehead. The other admired the Stinky Cheese Man and told his friend Casey Scieszka so. And so she introduced this admirer to her father, John Scieszka. This other fellow went on to write the Brixton Brothers Mysteries and Billy Twitters and his Blue Whale Problem, an Irma Black Award honor book. The STEM titles, Oh No, or How My Science Project Destroyed the World, and Oh No, Not Again, as well as Extra Yarn, which received a Caldecott honor. And when these two men came together last fall to publish The Birthday Bunny, oh, what's that, John Mack, did I get the title wrong? Yeah. Battle Bunny! When the two came together to publish Battle Bunny, well, they blew the boundaries of bookmaking even farther afield than they ever had before. So, here in person are the witty, wonderful, and unforgettable John Scieszka and Mac Barnett.
All right, can everybody hear me? Is this, oh, hey, now I get it. It wasn't. Hi, good morning, everybody. How is everybody doing? Good, good. We are here to talk a little bit this morning. We are so excited. We both love this award so much. And for John and I both, I think we got into this because we found that kids are the best audience for really challenging, bold, experimental literary fiction. That's what in college I read The Stinky Cheese Man. I didn't read it as a kid, and I was reading it to 4-year-olds. And we were both loving these really insane, smart jokes and laughing at the same jokes. So Battle Bunny, the book that we did together, is a lot of things. It starts off, we wrote a picture book in John's backyard called Birthday Bunny, about a bunny who wakes up on his special day, his birthday, but nobody remembers it's his birthday. So his friend Crow forgets it's his birthday, and Squirrel, and Bear, and Turtle. Everybody forgets, so he goes to the forest and he sits on a log. He's very sad. But then they all throw him a surprise party. And there's nothing less surprising in a picture book than a surprise party.
Hooray!
Hooray!
Wait, what are all these people doing here?
Your computer's up, John.
Did we win an award?
No. No.
Oh, why are we here?
To celebrate other people winning awards.
Oh.
Yeah.
I thought we won.
No.
All right.
But it's really inspired by the smart stuff, not only that we see kids read, but we see kids make, because we believe they are also smart book creators, and one thing this book too is an act of literary criticism, destroying an insipid text.
So we thought Bank Street would be the perfect place to do that, and we love Bank Street because this is like our home laboratory. I get to stop by here all the time, and once we actually put Bunny together, we got to come to Allie's library and just try it out on the guys. And we learned the best way to read it, which is so much fun. And we got so inspired by what they made. So this is kind of what we've been showing people to explain that we're not hooligans. We're actually artists.
That's right, artistes.
Artistes.
Yeah.
Is that the French
That's
for
the
artists?
French.
Oh, that's very good.
Yeah.
Here's what else.
Oh yeah. I mean, that's just the same thing again.
See, other
Dali ripping off Duchamp, ripping off Leonardo da Vinci.
And how about this guy?
Basquiat gets in the mix.
Yeah.
And Banksy. Yeah. Ooh.
So we're not ripping off anything. We're actually artisting, right?
Yeah, artistic. Artistic is how you say that.
All right.
Yeah. There's when Shepard Fairey ripped off AP photographer.
So yeah, that was our.
And it's art. Yeah.
It's art. Yeah, that's what we should.
And also, like, vandalism isn't always vandalism, right? Sometimes it can be protest. These are a bunch of dictators' pictures that have had mustaches drawn on them, eye patches, things thrown at them during the Arab Spring.
So we're actually political activists.
That's also what we are.
Besides artists.
Yes, absolutely.
Wow, that's good to know.
But the best defacing, and both these, political activists and these artists are really doing something that kids have been doing forever. So this is by Flannery O'Connor. This is a book that she had when she was a kid. The Adventures of a Brownie is not very good. That's what it says. Below that.
So we're a lot like Flannery O'Connor also.
Yes, exactly.
God, this just gets better.
We're Southern Gothic
We're
masters.
Southern Gothic political activist artistes.
I'm sure some of you have seen these in textbooks. Here's something explaining foxes eat rabbits, and then apparently it's that guy with a mohawk's rabbit, and he's screaming, "Fluffy!" That's from a kid's textbook. Or here's a kid who didn't know how to answer this. So he said, "Miss, I can't read the question. There's a bear in the way." And then he's drawn a bear over the question.
That's just good.
That's just brilliant.
That's brilliant. We should just leave that up for the next 15 minutes, don't you think?
Anything better than that. Duchamp
20 minutes.
versus that kid? Come on.
Yeah.
And it's international. This is from Vietnam.
That's a nice addition.
Yeah.
And when Mac and I thought about this, we realized like almost everybody did this. We started showing it to booksellers, and they all came up with great ideas of things, or just memories of what they had done. One bookseller in Texas, her whole class had to read Madame Bovary, which she turned into Madame's Ovaries. And she wishes she still had that book.
Yeah. I wish I still had that book.
Yeah, now I'm nervous. All right, here's more inspiration.
This is a guy we met in California. He writes a comic, Stickman, that he gives to all his friends. He makes one copy, and it's disseminated, passed from friend to friend, like Samizdat. And this is, look at this, page 1. Our atomic army is trying to shoot our airships down. They shot a fighter down. We are meeting some resistance. They're using missiles and AA turrets, and then there's an asterisk by AA, and then up there it says anti-aircraft.
Yeah. Mac and I see this stuff everywhere we go in classrooms, and it's both so sophisticated and so smart, but often it gets shut down. Because someone will look at that and go, "Oh my God, there's a lot of explosions there."
There's also a footnote there, so...
Yeah. We focused on the footnote, and also the coolness of the explosions in multicolors.
And that great way that everything just happens at once.
Yeah.
There's
and it keeps happening.
Yeah, there's like an hour's worth of action in one frame.
Yeah, I think there was that great study done of boys, like if you let them keep drawing, they will just keep drawing until they've destroyed the whole picture. And just adding stuff on. And then the bounce came over there, and then the machine gun came over there.
And then I accidentally put the same slide in twice. Oh, and then here's a scene.
This is happening dialogue here.
Yeah, all right. So we said, "Why did you capture me? You want to be the president?"
I am President Winklebean.
Oh,
I can tell.
bleep! He was good. He just put asterisks and stuff there too. Those aren't footnotes. That's swearing.
What does he say? I want to be a U.S. slave owner. I will kill you now.
Yeah, he wants you to be a U.S. Army soldier.
Oh, soldier.
I will kill you now. Yeah. So there it is. I don't know.
Action dialogue.
We should have rehearsed that.
That went well.
Yeah.
But here's a dramatic piece that came directly from Bank Street. Once we showed Battle Bunny and Birthday Bunny here, we just unleashed a tsunami that fell on top of Allie, and we got to run away.
Egg wars.
Egg wars. That's kind of beautiful.
Yeah. So here's Birthday Bunny. Yeah. Oh, sweet. Very sweet
That
story.
is so sweet.
Yeah, absolutely.
And here's what we turned it into.
Oh no.
That's actually a reaction we get a lot of times if we read this to first graders.
Yeah.
They're much happier with this.
Yeah.
They know where this story's going.
Mm-hmm.
This one they're not so sure.
Yeah.
Instead of it's your birthday, it's doomsday.
That's right. The first person to write in this book, of course, is Alex's grandmother. It says, "Happy birthday, Alexander, to my little birthday bunny on his special day. Love, Gran."
Oh.
Yeah, why is she allowed to write in the book, though, but Alex can't?
Yeah, good question.
Yeah.
And the idea of this whole thing is that Alex is a smart kid. He's like a 10-year-old who's a storyteller and an illustrator. He just got the wrong book from his grandmother. His grandmother doesn't know what he likes. So he improved it. And made it Battle Bunny. And we'll tell you a little more about the process later, but we basically had the illustrator do 2 entire books and didn't tell him until later.
So yeah, there's the first one.
Oh, that's nice.
Oh yeah, we should read this. Should we do it?
Yeah.
We'll try this. This is very advanced. We're gonna give you our duet.
Did you want to read it from here?
Yeah, it's a little bit dangerous, we'll say though. what we're about to do. The last time two authors tried to do this, nope. They spontaneously caught on fire. That was Patricia Polacco.
Yes.
And Rick Riordan.
Rick Riordan was the other one, yes.
We put him out, though.
Because it's two brains going at once.
Yeah.
We figured this out in Allie's library. One of the kids suggested it, that we just read it together. We had been reading one page, then the altered page, the unaltered, the altered, but it didn't work quite the same. So we just read it as a duet, which is really sweet.
Yeah, so we'll read you just a little bit here. Bunny woke up from a night of pleasant dreams. Today is a very special day, he thought. Today is my birthday. Today I am not just a bunny. I am the birthday bunny. Birthday Bunny made himself his favorite breakfast. Brain juice and a bowl of greasy guts. My birthday is the most special day of the year because I get super birthday powers over all my enemies. And I get to put my evil plan into action. I wonder who will be the first to try and stop me. Birthday Bunny started on his evil plan, hopping through the trees. On the way, Birthday Bunny met Crow. Hello, Bunny, said Crow. Today is your unlucky day. That is so false, said Birthday Bunny. Because today I'm gonna whomp on you, bird brain, and pluck you like a sick chicken. Yeah, that's terrible. That's Alex right there. Yeah, we didn't do that. We didn't write that. This is artistry. And then Alex is up on top there. Yeah, he says, Mr. President, Battle Bunny is up to something no good. And the president, he's flying Air Force One. He says, thanks, Alex. I will put my best agents on it. Crow swooped down. I am saving the forest from your evil plan. And I will knock you with my Megatron bombs. It's kind of like the original, it's just slightly altered. Oh, no, said Battle Bunny. You will not stand in my way. Battle Bunny chopped and whomped him into the stratosphere. Aye, said Crow, spinning into the sky. Battle Bunny kept hopping through the woods until he saw Badger. Freeze, Bunny, said Badger. Why are you hopping so sadly? You face El Tejon, the world's greatest wrestler. Why is he Elvis? I don't know. We broke this audio system. Can everybody still hear us? Some people can hear us, right? Yeah, people can. Let's do it. Because I always do it like a... We do it live! El Tejon. Does yours work? I think, yeah. All right, we're back. Yeah, right, said Bunny. Badger whipped out his claw. Today I take you down with my furioso claw. Next to a big shady tree. Oh, said Battle Bunny. Too bad it's not as good as my Lucky Rabbit Foot Smash. And then they have an amazing wrestling match in comics. Badger busts out all of his moves, Tornillo, the avion spin. But then Bunny breaks out. El Conejo Loco. El Conejo Loco. No. The crazy rabbit. Goodbye, Bunny, caramba, said Badger. He went back down to the count. It just gets bad. Yeah. Terrible things happen. Absolutely. President Obama sends in the Kenji Fighting Force. He still doesn't want to use Alex, though, even though he thinks he probably should. Shaolin Bear and Ninja Turtle come down the path. They whip out all their moves. They get beat. Oh, and so here's how our illustrator got the manuscript. We kind of wrote the whole thing all the way through, and then Mac and I altered it, crossed it out, and then Simon & Schuster did some weird thing on the right there. I don't think I've ever seen that. I don't know what that is, to tell you the truth. But he did get like 6 different versions of the manuscript. He got one in handwriting, this thing, which I think that's pretty clear what he's supposed to do, isn't it? Yeah, absolutely. Have fun, illustrators.
Fix it up.
We're done. That's what we said.
And then he went through the whole first book, which Mac and I did write just by sort of turning off maybe 98% of our writing brain.
Yeah, it was whatever we had to do. It was we couldn't spend more than 5 seconds thinking of what would happen next in the story. Everything had to be the most obvious choice. Although sometimes like weird stuff even came out in 5 seconds. Like one time I asked John, I was like, "Hey, what would a squirrel give a rabbit for his birthday?"
Nut clock.
That's what John said. A nut clock. So
the only one that didn't make it in was like Badger was originally going to give him like root shoes.
Yeah, shoes made from roots.
Alright,
yeah.
not so good.
Not so
We had
good.
to get like another percentage of the brain back. And then Matt had to paint the entire book as if he was doing it very sweetly.
And he couldn't do both at the same time. So we made this entire book, and if he ever had repaints to do, he'd have to have like a week in between his originals and when he would be writing on it as Alex. He found that it used 2 completely different sides of his brain, kind of.
So here's
That's science. That's STEM.
That's STEM.
That's STEM.
So STEM.
That's STEM.
So I love that we actually printed the original book, Birthday Bunny. This is it, unaltered. Which, as I said, every first grader seems to love.
Yeah, and we put it up online for free, and kids can print it out and turn it into whatever bunny stories they want to make.
Yeah.
And then they send us the stories that they make too, and we put those up online.
And we got some amazing stuff. Oh, here's more of what Matt did. So here was the original. This is actor. Then they printed it out, and Matt actually took a pencil and went in and made all these changes, which is kind of amazing. And here's the website where we have the original available, and just sent the thing both to artists we know and to kids.
So there's Adam Rex, President Bunny.
That guy loves Abraham Lincoln.
He's
What's going on
really
there?
obsessed with Abraham Lincoln.
Lane Smith. Like Lane kind of obliterated everything.
Yeah.
It was around Halloween, which Lane loves. Like there, it's actually that cover. See, you can still see the eyeball. And the earth and un, that's about it. Oh, I guess the stump is there. Nothing else. God, that guy's demented.
Yeah.
Oh, and here's stuff kids did.
Monster Bunny. I love that green one. Yep. Yeah.
Ooh.
Spooky. Football Bunny.
Oh, Football Bunny came out of school in Texas where all the 3rd, 4th, and 5th graders did their own books, and they got a winner in each grade, and the winner got to come up on stage with us and smash cake in the face of the principal.
Yep.
So Allie, we've got a special surprise. Mac and I were actually amazed too, because she was this very clean little woman.
Yeah, she was great.
In a little tailored suit.
Nice suit.
And it scared us. We were like, should we be smashing cake in the face?
There was this moment of terror on their face where they looked and then they got like a little nod from her and then just smashed. Just smashed.
Except the guy's best line, we were in the bathroom like cleaning up after all this, and the little 4th grader turned to me and said, "I touched the principal's teeth."
Which is crazy.
Which is like the worst thing ever somehow. I don't know why. But even I went like, oh my God, how did that happen? I'm sorry, we made you do that. But look at Football Bunny.
It's like a lost episode of Friday Night Lights. Costume Bunny is one of our favorites. She's being hounded by the paparazzi. You can see a little camera in Bear's hand.
Yeah.
And then there's a great ending with the presentation of the gifts. Badger gave Bunny a drum made from a log with lots of outfits.
And I kind of love that it confounded everybody's expectations who were saying like, oh, this is such a boy book. All the boys will love this. Oh,
Which already is, can get troublesome. It makes you feel weird if you like a book that everybody's saying is a different gendered book. But of course, like, the thing that I think people miss about this book is that it's not the battles that animate it, it's the act of transgression. It's that moment of a kid talking back to a book and saying, you know what, this book that I was given is not sacred, it's not even very good, and I have a better idea. And that's what the thrill is. That like I think kids are clearly being listened to
We saw kids that actually almost levitated out of their seats, just saying like, can we do this? And we would just say yes, and then run away from the school. Buy hardcover. Oh, we've also been getting some great reports from librarians and teachers. One librarian told me the custodian told her he found a book that had just been so horribly messed up, he threw it away.
Yeah.
He wasn't even going to show it to her. It was funny.
It was, yeah. Then they had to buy another Battle Bunny. Boom, that's a marketing plan.
That's a good marketing
Thank you.
Thank you.
Royalties, please.
Yeah. Oh, I think this was one of my favorites of all time.
Yeah, Bedtime Bunny. Absolutely. He's got his sleep mask on. The whole book, he's just trying to go to sleep.
That's all he wants to do. And it's such a brilliant idea because that mask is so easy to draw and all the dialogue got turned into.
Yeah, so he goes, I have a very sleepy speech to make. This is a very exciting climax where he falls asleep.
And then the last page is Bunny laying down in the hill. So it's like, he got to go to sleep.
He got to sleep.
The end.
But you know, like, kindergartners do get it. Some kindergartners get mad, especially John's been yelled at. I got kindergarten cursed at, I think. Yeah, it's
Because
true.
we read the whole original Birthday Bunny, then the Battle Bunny, and one little guy in front, he was shaking his head the whole time. And then I called on him and we had questions and answers, and he said, that's not a very good book.
Yeah, he said, that's a silly book.
Oh, a silly book.
Yeah, and we know what silly means. That's a kindergarten curse word right there.
The S word. The S-I word. Very silly.
But yeah, these are by kindergartners.
Yeah.
The Rainbow
Bunny.
We love Rainbow
Also
Bunny.
very gender socially conscious kindergartners.
Ninja Bunny.
I don't think this guy has any problems.
Look at that! That is so wild.
He covered
That is like Gary Panter.
Every inch of that page. Like he didn't leave anything untouched.
Fashion Bunny. Little rolling wardrobe.
Yep.
Clown Bunny. look, he's being protested.
Boo clown!
And then that one was like, come on, let's go.
Yeah, come on, let's go.
Oh, that's a good thing.
Here's Mo.
French Artistic Bunny. Yeah, that's the story of Mo Willems.
Oh, this goes dark.
Oh, yeah. If I can't be happy, then no one can.
But I think it's good to tap into kids' emotions. Didn't we say that? Didn't the president say that?
That's right, yes.
The president said that. So it's okay, right?
Yeah.
Man, I love this one for the perspective.
Yes,
like this
Singer
kid
Bunny.
actually killed it.
Singer Bunny, they're singing and nobody came to the show. Yeah.
Here's the artist. I don't know why we included him. Oh, I know what. It's on. You can go look at that on YouTube.
Yeah, and you can.
It's
see
not
how
as
they-
interesting as like when Mac and I go out and read it together. Recently, we were at the Texas Book Festival, and they didn't give us our usual dressing room, so we had to use one of the other ones.
And I thought that picture had been destroyed.
No, I keep putting it up everywhere. I show it as often as I can. So we're in this huge tent announcing the Texas Bluebonnet Awards. And I came on like that. Kind of looking okay, and I'm telling people about it. And I said, Mac's going to be a little late. He went out to get a bunny costume.
And we've announced these awards every year for a few years now. And last year, we did it with Adam Rex. And John was Batman, and then he had two Robins. He was there with Adam, and then I came on stage with a homemade Robin outfit. And it's very sad that he had a new Robin. It kind of devolved into like some polyamory jokes.
Very quickly.
And the Texas librarians were not super psyched, but for some reason invited us back.
So we thought, what better thing to do?
And she was standing next to Adam when John was on stage, and John is just in that outfit. And this was called Tuxedo Bunny, which it turned out to not. I was trying to be a little more formal out of respect for the Bluebonnets. But it was a very different outfit. And she said, the head librarian of this said to Adam, as she's watching John, she's like, well, I gotta say I'm very happy to see him dressed like this. Last year, I think you guys pushed it a little bit too far.
Complaining about the Robin outfit.
And then 30 seconds later, I came out in that.
I can't tell you what's going to show up.
Oh, man.
There was actually a great roar from the audience, and then kind of standing off to the side was one of the Texas Rangers. Like the guy all in his outfit, he really gave us...
I called him out.
That was wrong.
And that's why I can't go to Texas anymore. As soon as I cross the border.
Yeah. No, I think your best line was that you felt silly.
Oh, yeah, because I had brown shoes. They just didn't seem very formal.
So in conclusion, we would just like to say that's why we love the Irma Black Awards.
No, but really, you know what? Like we love any time that like kids are empowered and really celebrated as discerning readers. I think so that's so cool is that the smartest readers of books are kids, of kids' books, are kids, and there's something amazing about that. And anyone who's sat down and talked with a kid about why a book works knows that there can be very sophisticated responses to books that they see, that they really read them, that they do serious literary interpretation. And
that is the beauty of Bank Street, that gives them those tools and that setup, and to go a little bit deeper than like, oh, I like that book, I didn't like that book.
And as soon as you give them that setup, they're ready to go there, and really work. And that's something that we've really discovered too, and we love that about our audience. And we've seen that as we've handed Birthday Bunny out to kids to mess with. They go through and they change every page of this story. Yeah. And they'll go through. It's not just defacing a cover. It's making new stories. Kids are engaged in books. Yep. On such a great level, and anything that gives them that voice is something that makes John and I very excited. So yeah, we're glad to be here today.
So thanks, guys.
Well, how do you follow that? I was thinking though, as you guys were giving examples of, children as critics and the difficulties that some adults have with marking up books, that it really goes back to Harold and the Purple Crayon too. That a lot of adults were very uncomfortable with the idea that this child was doodling all over the pages, so we love Battle Bunny. It is now my pleasure to bring to the podium two distinguished colleagues who will present the Irma, Simonton, and James H. Black Award and honors. Allie Bruce, children's librarian here at Bank Street College and the School for Children, and a member of the Bank Street Children's Book Committee, and Molly Welsh-Kruger, member of the Bank Street Graduate Faculty, specializing in children's literature and literacy, and co-chair of the Bank Street Children's Book Committee. Please help me welcome them.
Hello. So before anything else, I want to say thank you, John and Mac, not just for that wonderful keynote, but for the gift that is Battle Bunny. It has been such a bonding experience for me and the kids this year, easily the highlight of my year with the second grade. And my favorite one that came out of Bank Street was Bathroom Bunny. Today is a very special day. Today my bathroom is being installed. So I'm going to turn it over to Molly.
We're very glad to be here with everybody. All four of the picture books that we're celebrating today are finalists for the Irma Black Award. And they also appear on the list of 2014 Best Books for Children and Young Adults, which is chosen by the Children's Book Committee here at Bank Street College of Education. We're delighted to present the award certifications, special medals on the side of each book. And we'll start with our three honor books. The first honor book for the 2014 Irma Simonton and James H. Black Award goes to Are the Dinosaurs Dead, Dad? By Julie Middleton. It's illustrated by Russell Ato, and it's published by Peachtree. The blurb for this book reads, Dad assures Dave that dinosaurs are dead, but after a visit to a museum, Dave isn't so sure. Quirky pen, ink, watercolor, and collage illustrations. And we invite Margaret M. Quinlan, the president and publisher, to please come forward and accept honors on behalf of Julie Middleton and Russell Ato. Margaret? Thank you for being here with us today, Margaret.
Our second honor goes to Chickosaurus Rex by Lenore Yenevin. Illustrated by Daniel Yenevin. Published by Simon & Schuster Books for Young Readers. Chick learns that chickens are descended from dinosaurs and is inspired to be brave. Fun, lively illustrations. Please help us welcome author Lenore Yenevin.
Thank you so much. When Daniel and I, Daniel, my personal illustrator and husband, found out that we were finalists for this award, we thought, you know, how fitting, because this story actually was inspired by the classroom. We were visiting a friend of mine, and her daughter came up to Daniel and said, "Guess what I learned in school today?" And he said, "What?" And she said, "Do you know who the closest living relative is to the Tyrannosaurus Rex?" And he said, "I don't know, like an iguana, maybe?" She's like, "No, a chicken." And then when Daniel told me that story, I thought, you know, that is a perfect picture book idea. And then we fought a lot and created this book. So thank you very much.
We always get a few insights to the creative process. Thank you for sharing. Our third honor goes to The King of Little Things, written by Barnett, illustrated by David T. Wessel, and it's published also by Peachtree. When King Normus decides to rule the whole world, the King of Little Things and his subjects find a way to outsmart him and keep their kingdom safe. Rich, painterly illustrations. Please help us welcome author Barnett and artist David T. Wessel to accept their gift.
Thank you so much. This is such a great honor. I told my wife that I hope the trophy was small enough to fit in the overhead, so I think it will. But this whole book started about 9 years ago. My son and I were playing, and he said, "Let's play Kingdoms," and he got the Tyrannosaurus Rex and the parking garage toy and the Tonka truck fire truck, and he said, "I'll be the king of big things." And I said, "What do I get to be king of?" And he handed me a paperclip and a marble. And he said, "You can be the king of little things." And I said, "Oh, that's a great idea for a story, Cats in the Cradle. I got to go to work." And here it is, and thank you very much. It's a great honor.
Thank you very much. When I first read the manuscript, I was going through it, and I thought it was very good. But then I read that the king pants fall down and his underpants are there, and I said, "I'm in." So, thank you very much.
And now, for the 2014 Irma Simonton and James H. Black Award winner. That Is Not a Good Idea. Written and illustrated by Mo Willems, published by Balzer & Bray, an imprint of HarperCollins Children's Books. A fox woos a duck with surprising results. Mixed media illustrations. Now, Molly, we seem to have some remarks here from Mo Willems, but they're in French. Do you speak French, Molly? Does anyone here speak French?
Yeah.
Okay.
We, of course, are immensely qualified French speakers. John has a PhD in French literature.
Absolutely.
I have Duolingo on my phone, and I'm wearing a striped shirt.
Good as done.
Unfortunately, Mo can't join us today. He is spending the year in Paris. But he is excited about the Irma Black Award, and so he's written a short appreciation in French. And John, I think that you get to read the French, and I will translate.
Yeah, Mo has actually been studying, he said over there, and I think it really shows in his remarks.
Yeah.
Which I adjusted a little bit. A la Battle Bunny. Bonjour, mesdames, messieurs. Merci, merci, s'il vous plaît. Très bien.
Dear Irma Black Award Committee, members of the Bank Street School, fellow writers and illustrators, publishing professionals, friends, and readers.
Ooh la la, oui, oui, oui. En garde, cornichon. Croissant.
I'm thrilled with the news that children from around the world have chosen That Is Not a Good Idea to be this year's Irma Black Award finalists. Any award that gives an author a kid's ear and gives a kid a voice at the same time is amazing. What was that last word?
Croissant.
In my book.
Oh, croissant. I don't think Mo got the best teacher.
Yeah.
Pinot Noir, un, deux, trois. Mon pâté derrière. Rouge et blanc. Décolletage. Champagne Bistro. Tête-à-tête à la mode. Frère Jacques, dormez-vous.
It's truly an honor.
Zout allures. Petite camembert Alessandra Bowser. Au contraire, mon baguette Martha Rago.
Any book, even one that is not a good idea, doesn't happen without guidance, so I'd like to share my appreciation for my editor, Alessandra Balzer, and art director, Martha Rago.
Oh. So, au revoir, bon voyage, my chéri amour, Mac Barnett et Jean Scieszka, je suis Pepe Le Pew.
And again, thank you to the kids who read, thought, discussed, and voted. Mac Barnett and John Scieszka, you're very handsome. You guys rock. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Maybe you guys would just like to join the faculty here. What do you think? Thank you so much. Now we are going to hear from Kristen Frieda, who is going to tell us a little bit about all the schools all over the globe who have participated in the voting, and I'm going to make a little set change while she does that. So here is Kristen Frieda, Director of Library Services, Manager Extraordinaire, and the one who administers the Irma Black Award and the Cook Prize.
I created a Google map of all the schools that are that have voted this year, and I saved it on the screen of that. I can't find it now, and you guys don't want to wait for me to look for it, but it's very exciting. We've been watching the Irma Black Awards and now Cook Prize grow over the years. Many of you who have come to these ceremonies have learned that we started with about 14 participating schools for the Irma Black, and many, many years they were just our group of kids, along with the Bank Street School for Children. But a few years ago, Lisa Vondrasek decided, let's expand this out, let's make it bigger, and it's been great for kids all over the world now. You may know that Lucy Sprague Mitchell had a deep interest in maps, and that's why we created this map. And I sent these maps to all the schools so they can look with their children all the places around the globe, which included this year Alaska, Hawaii, Karachi, Pakistan, New Delhi, India, Shanghai, China, and Sicily. So along with that, we've gotten nearly 7,500 votes to make That Is Not a Good Idea the favorite. And for our third year of Cook Prize voting, we're really excited to say that participation went up about 60% this year, from 2,000 voters to 3,700 third and fourth grade voters. So every year it gets bigger and bigger, and the teachers, I think a lot of it is their word of mouth talking to each other. You can see clusters of schools in Manhattan Beach, California. There's a whole bunch of schools doing it. In Denver, Colorado, there's a whole bunch, and so we're just trying to expand it out. But we're here right now to talk about these wonderful books, the Cook Prize books, and I think, Jenny, you're going to come up and begin the discussions on that.
It is now my pleasure to bring to the podium two of our distinguished Cook Prize jurors, Tracy Pearl, a head teacher in the School for Children, specializing in math and science, and Jamie Wallace, a Bank Street alumna who is now working as Education and Policy Associate in the Department of Education at the American Museum of Natural History. Please help me welcome them.
So on behalf of our fellow jurors from the Bank Street graduate faculty, the School for Children, and Bank Street alumni, who came together to debate the outstanding STEM books of 2013, we are delighted to present these honors to the Cook Prize finalists.
The first honor book for the 2014 Cook Prize goes to Bone by Bone, Comparing Animal Skeletons by Sarah Levine, illustrated by T.S. Spookytooth, published by Millbrook and imprint of Lerner Publishing.
So the blurb from the book is, what animal would you be like if your finger bones reached to your feet? If you had no arms, guess and compare your skeleton to other animal skeletons. Please help us welcome author Sarah Levine.
Hi, it's really nice to be here. Thank you. So about 20 years ago, I was in veterinary school, and I was given a box of bones, and inside the box were dog bones, and we had to take them home. We had to learn them. I lived in an apartment, and I needed to take the T, which is the Boston equivalent of the subway, home. And I need to put this down. Here we go. So the box was not an inconspicuous box. It was very long and skinny, and it was wooden, and it had a handle on the top, and there's no way to sit on the T so that you weren't blocking the seat to the side, or if you put it under the seat, it was going to stick out into the aisle. So it was sitting there. So everyone would look at me, and I could see everyone. Nobody talks on the Boston T. I assume it's the same as the subway. So nobody says anything, but everyone's thinking, what's in the box, what's in the box? And finally, some guy, brave guy, turns to me and said, what's in the box? And everybody looks at me. And I thought, what the heck? And I said, dog bones. And then everyone's really looking at me. So I said, you want to see? And they said, yes. And that was the first time I actually taught anatomy to people. We took the bones out, and I said, this is the femur, and oh, it's the same shape as our femur. These are the ribs. And what occurred to me, it was entertaining, but what also occurred to me is that people didn't know that animals, all vertebrates, have the same bones. They're just different sizes and shapes. So when I was given the opportunity to actually teach some 10 years later, I wanted to bring this across. And the book kind of came out of a Simon Says game. And if you will humor me, I'm going to start the game with you. Just so you probably need a butt break anyway. So Simon says, stand up, okay? I have to stand behind this mic, so I can't fully do it. Simon says, put your hands on your skull. Simon says, put your hands on your vertebrae. Simon says, put your hands on your humerus. Simon says, wiggle your phalanges. Okay, you can see how we could do everything. All right, now imagine that your phalanges, hold your phalanges like this. Imagine they go all the way to the ground. Okay, now imagine that what kind of man would you be if they did? Okay, a bat is the correct answer. Bird is like this. Everyone be a bird, and now be a bat. So if you had skin flapping. Okay, I'm going to do one more. So what kind of animal would you be if you had no arm bones and no leg bones? You just have his head, ribs, and vertebrae. What would you be? Snake. You'd be a snake. Okay, you're very good. Simon says have a seat. Thank you very much.
The second honor book for the 2014 Cook Prize goes to No Monkeys, No Chocolate by Melissa Stewart and Alan Young, illustrated by Nicole Wong, published by Charles Bridge.
Where does chocolate come from? The description takes you along the many steps from candy bar back to cocoa beans with commentary by two humorous bookworms. Unfortunately, neither of the authors, Melissa Stewart or Alan Young, nor the illustrator were able to join us today. Melissa was especially disappointed not to be here today as she had a prior commitment to visit a school district. But you can see Melissa describe the 10-year journey to publishing No Monkeys, No Chocolate on her website and her starting point with a microhabitat involving a wild rose, aphids, ladybugs, and ants. Thank you.
The third honor book for the 2014 Cook Prize goes to Toilet, How It Works, written and illustrated by David Macaulay and Sheila Keaton, published by David Macaulay Studio, an imprint of Macmillan Children's Publishing Group.
The author's simple text and clarifying drawings explains how toilets, plumbing, sewers, and treatment plants works. Unfortunately, neither David Macaulay nor Sheila Keenan could join us today, but we thank them for this excellent example of engineering right in our own homes. And now for the 2014 Cook Prize winner, The Boy Who Loved Math, The Improbable Life of Paul Erdős by Deborah Heidler, illustrated by Lewin Pham, published by Roaring Brook Press, an imprint of Macmillan Publishing Group. And the blurb for the book is, the picture book biography of Paul Erdős traces his early love of math, as well as the ideas and people he connected in service to its study. Lively illustrations incorporate mathematical concepts. And we actually have some remarks by Lewin Pham. Yeah, do you want to start? Sure. I've illustrated a lot of picture books, and I mean a lot, no kidding. Over the past 10 years, I've illustrated something to the tune of 75 books. Or as Paul would say, 5 squared plus 5 squared plus 5 squared. I ought to have my own Pham number. But I tell you this not to show off how many books I've done, because it's not something really to brag about, but to lend an air of authority when I say to you that The Boy Who Loved Math is a special book, a really special book. I knew that off the start when Ann Diebel at Roaring Brook mentioned it to me and asked if I was interested. A book about math. Math! I was one of those dorky girls who loved math as a kid and was good at it too. And now, here in my hands was a manuscript that would not only make a kid interested in math, but would make that same kind never describe themselves as dorky, and I was given a chance to illustrate it. To be honest, I'd never heard of Paul Erdős before I'd read the script, but afterwards, and before I even agreed to do the book, mind you, I read the biography, The Man Who Loved Only Numbers by Paul Hoffman, and that was it. I was officially hooked on the guy. And after reading that, I immediately signed on for The Boy Who Loved Math. There are very few picture books out there about real people that don't somehow paint those people in unnatural lights. Some are far too complimentary, being blind to anything complicated in that person's life. Some are too simple, understating much of the interesting aspects. I don't know how Deborah did it, but she somehow took a very complex, very bizarre, very beloved, very unreachable man and made him completely accessible, and more importantly, very human. I would call her my partner in crime, but let's face it, she was the total brains of the operation. I was just her little drawing monkey. But I did the best I could at being that monkey. The research for this book was pretty insane. Not only did I have to brush up on mathematics, but I was attempting to understand some extremely complicated graphs and theories and equations that went beyond my high school calculus comprehension, but I loved it. I loved working math into the illustrations as much as I could, and as Deborah has said, I tried to add even more layers to Paul's personality through the art, stories Deborah really wanted to work in but couldn't. I hope I did her proud. I know that I am proud of this book myself, and I'm extremely honored, humbled, and most of all grateful that you amazing people at Bank Street took notice of it and appreciated it and granted it this award. That dorky little girl who loves math inside of me thanks you as well. And now we'd like to honor author Deborah Heidler.
Talk about hard acts to follow, guys. Thanks a lot. Wynn sent me that and asked me to read it, and when I read it, I thought, well, I can't actually say that out loud about the brains of the operation, because, in fact, if she were here, we would probably be arguing, because I think her illustrations took what was, a book I worked really hard on and just knocked it out of the ballpark, because she is just so incredible. And it was I'm totally going off paper here, but it was a dream come true, because I don't know how many of you know this in the audience, but publishers love to keep the author and the illustrator apart from each other. So she did all this research without talking to me, and I had done a whole lot of research. And when I wrote the book, there was so much I couldn't include. My one request of the publisher was to pick an illustrator who would put math in the art. And then I just had this whole sort of list of things that I wish she would put in the art, but I had no way of communicating it to her, except, in fact, I suppose, by brainwaves, because when I got the sketches, almost all of the things that I wished had been in the art were there. It was incredible. And then, by the way, at the end, they made this, towards the end of the sketches, they made this mistake and put us on the same email chain. So we broke the rules, and we wrote to each other, and then I sent her more stuff, and she put in more stuff, and it was great. Now I'm gonna look at my cheat sheet. So a million thanks to the Bank Street Book Committee for choosing this as a finalist, with books about chocolate, monkeys, bones, and toilets, and the book about math won. This must be 2014. And really, 2 million thanks to the Epsilons who voted. Now, if you haven't read the book yet, Paul Erdős called children epsilons because an epsilon is a very small thing in math. And I could have put my PowerPoint up there, but these are these special cards that I will tell you about in a moment, and this is an epsilon on it. A little bit about why I wrote the book. So I was one little girl who loved math and was pretty good at it. I was one tween who loved math and was pretty good at it. And then I took trigonometry, and I didn't understand a single word that was being said in the class. You know, it might have been French, because I took Spanish. But I really didn't understand anything, and so I became a negative girl who loved math. But still being the ambitious person that I was, I managed to somehow pass trigonometry and take calculus. And I passed because Mr. Huntsberger said to me, well, I know you're smart, so I'm gonna give you a B. That was the 1970s. God love the 1970s. So then I graduated, went to a college where there were no requirements, and so therefore took no math. And immediately after college, fell in love with a guy who loved science, but was terrible at math. Now, he probably could have predicted that when we got married and have children, there would be some recessive math gene, but we never talked about it because his father is an applied mathematician, which is why he ran screaming from the kitchen dinner table, because his father would do formulas on the napkins at dinner. And but then we had this boy, and he just looked like a normal, sweet little baby to us, and a normal, sweet little toddler. And then one day, my husband and I sort of argue about who was driving the car at this time, but this little boy in the back seat, who could barely speak, said, and I'm going to say it was me, because I'm the one who's up here, Mommy, do you know that a 6 is a 9 turned upside down? I thought, uh-oh. And very soon that boy, we lived in Pennsylvania, we'd go out to dinner to Perkins, or, the thing with the golden arches, and they have these paper placemats everywhere you take your children for dinner in Pennsylvania. And Aaron would say, give me math problems. And so we would give him math problems, and people at the other tables would look at us, and I was really sure that somebody was going to call social services, because we were making our kid do math at dinner. But very, very quickly, he would say to us, that's not hard enough. That's not hard enough. And I'm talking like first grade, second grade. And so we called the applied mathematician, Grandpa, and said, you have to be the math parent. And so long distance, he became the math parent, and thank you very much, taught Aaron algebra, and I think, Aaron was at first grade? Second grade? Somewhere in there. Aaron, the boy who loved math, is here. He's now, of course, all those times I yelled at him for, put away your calculator or whatever, he was programming it, and so now he makes a much better living than I will ever make writing computer code. So one day he told me about this mathematician named Paul Erdős, who didn't have a home, and he traveled everywhere, and people took care of him, and he did this math, and I must admit I said something probably like, go play with your calculator, Aaron, because I was a really good mom. And then 3 years later, his younger brother, who cannot be here today because he's in Brooklyn teaching epsilons, he was not the math guy so much. He was more the humanities theater guy, and he came home and he told me about Paul Erdős. He had learned about him from his middle school teacher. And so I started to pay attention, and 12 years later, the book was published. So I don't want to take too much more time, but I want to tell you, if you haven't read the book, you may not realize that Paul Erdős really loved children, he loved to break rules, by the way. John and Mac, he would have loved this morning. He broke as many rules as he possibly could, and as I say in the book, he hated rules in life, but he loved rules in math. But he loved children. And one of the many things that I did for researching the book was talk to a lot of people who knew Paul. And a lot of them knew him, they were mathematicians, and so they knew him professionally. But then these mathematicians had children and epsilons. And one of the epsilons, when I interviewed her, told me lots of things. And she said, because I think in every kid there is a little bit of Paul Erdős, and I hope all the epsilons out there are inventing their very own special ways to live. And thank you, Bank Street, for helping them do that.
So Deborah, you left your 3 card here. Do I get to keep it? Okay, I have an Erdős number of 3. Oh, I'm an epsilon. I'm bringing the house down. Sorry, guys. It's a good thing we're almost finished here. I just want to give some thanks to some terrific people here at Bank Street. First of all, I want to congratulate all of our finalists. You wrote such fabulous books, and it's been a joy to watch the children with them and talk about them and think about them deeply. So thank you so much for the creativity, and we hope you do many more. I'm going to ask everyone to remain seated while our authors and artists make their way up to the lobby for their autographing. So you guys can go ahead. And let's give them another round of applause for their wonderful books.